See it? Hey everybody, it's Mr. Mummey coming to you on March 30th. This is your Monday lesson. I'm trying to get so you can see the sign behind me. Now, today what we're going to do is we're going to start with a little puzzle. Now, one of the puzzle pieces is behind me. So what you have to do is read what's behind me, and then you need to combine it with what's in my hand right here. Now, we're not talking about Dr. Pepper. This could be any can at all. It could be Coke, could be Sprite, could be V8 vegetable juice. Okay, let's be real. Mr. Mummey wouldn't drink V8 vegetable juice, but it could be any can at all. And let me give you a little another hint here. All right, now what you need to do for 10 gobstoppers, you need to tell me what this and this have to do with each other. And instead of writing it on Google Classroom, this time you're going to put it on your homework or your at-home work for Monday. So when you do your fairy tale checklist, at the top of your fairy tale checklist, tell me what this and this have to do with each other. And if you get it correct, you'll get 10 gobstoppers. That's right, 10. All right, today's lesson, we're going to continue on with our traditional literature. What you're going to do is start by reading 3 fairy tales. One of them is Sleeping Beauty, one of them is Rapunzel, and one is Cinderella. And all 3 of those are on a link on Google Classroom. They're kind of long, but you have all day to read it, and this is the only lesson you have for today. Now, you can jot down some notes on this paper. All of you should have this in your folder, and you can jot down some notes in these squares. But what I'm going to be looking at, that I'm going to kind of be grading and looking over, is the checklist that you can connect to on Google Classroom. So there's a checklist for Sleeping Beauty, there's a checklist for Rapunzel, and there's a checklist for Cinderella. So make sure you do all 3 of those after you've read those 3 stories. Now, what we're going to be focusing on today is fairy tale characteristics. And right here on this sheet are a list of different fairy tale characteristics, and this same list is going to be online on your checklist. So you're going to be looking at the beginning and the end of your fairy tale. Does it begin with once upon a time or long ago? Does it end with happily ever after? Okay, look and see if there's a love story. Most fairy tales have love stories in them. Isn't that sweet, fiance Amy? Everybody loves a good love story. Look for magic. Look for good versus evil. Most fairy tales have good characters and evil characters. So you're going to try to identify those and put them in the boxes here and on your checklist. Okay, there's going to be royalty, like kings and queens and princes and princesses. You're going to look for the number 3 and the number 7. Those 2 numbers are used a lot in fairy tales. So if the story talks about, like, there were 3 sisters, or there were 7 dwarfs, or something like that, you could put that on your checklist. All right, you want to look and see if the plot has to do with good defeating evil, which most of them do. And then finally, you're going to look and see if the story ends with happily ever after or something similar to that. All right, so that is going to be your assignment for Monday. There's kind of long stories. It's going to take you a little bit of time to read them. And then hopefully tomorrow, Mrs. O'Shaughnessy and Mrs. Arthur and Mrs. Hake and I are going to meet all of you on Zoom. We're going to send you out an invitation, and we're all going to get to see each other's faces, kind of like the Brady Bunch at the beginning with all those squares. And we'll talk about your upcoming assignments for this week, especially your Ohio biography projects. So I want to go over that in great detail with you so everybody knows what they're doing. All right, guys, hope everybody had a great spring break. I know you probably didn't get to do what you wanted to do because of all the restrictions going on, but hopefully you got to spend some good quality time with your family, and you guys can enjoy some of the warm weather that we've been having. All right, I will see you tomorrow. If I can find out how to turn this off.